and what really matters most to us, what we'd really love for our lives, is this amazing superpower. It allows us to show up, for the things that matter to us in a way that's aligned. And that in that, it's like not this, here are all the things I have to do. It's like, I get to do all of these things. That's the shift that I feel called to support. And the calling feels like if more people make that shift, then we can really make a shift in the way we all operate.
Hello, it is a pleasure to be with you today. Today, for our coaching spotlight, we are speaking with Erin Dinan. She is one of our coaches that has completed the coach training program, and she's also involved in the licensed academy training program. Erin, it's so nice to see you today. How are you doing?
Nice to see you too, Temple. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you? Of
I am doing well today. Thank you so much for asking.
course.
So let's just get right on into it. So, share with us, who are you, Erin? A little bit about your background.
Sure. I am a mom. I start off by saying that because that is like such an integral part of my life. I have two daughters that are 7 and 10. And I came at coaching from a background of fashion and retail. So I spent the majority of my career in fashion and retail merchandising. And then about 3 years ago, I started my coaching journey with Mastering Your Life course that I took actually almost exactly 3 years ago to this day. Yeah.
Wow, what an interesting journey so far. So, what attracted you to coaching?
Mm. Yeah, so I sort of had my eye on coaching for a very long time. I was reminding my freshman year roommate from college, who's still a very close friend to this day, that I remember there was a point in freshman year where she said to me, "You should be a life coach." And I had never heard of it. She doesn't even remember saying it to me, but it stuck with me for many years that there was this thing out there, but I didn't know anyone who did it. I didn't really know much about it, but I liked the idea of it. And then maybe after I had my first daughter, so almost 10 years ago, I explored coaching because I was like, I love I had been a leader in organizations for many years, managing people and teams. And what I loved most about my job was not necessarily the fashion, it was the people. And I loved so much helping people to see their strengths, to name them, and to lean into their strengths. That was a really important thing for me in developing others. Um, and so I realized that I would love to spend more time on that. And I kind of I explored coaching and then thought, not yet, maybe later. And then years later, 3 years ago, I did a bunch of those like personality and career assessments, and it kept pointing back. It was like teacher, coach, teacher, coach. This is what you should be. I always wanted to be a teacher too. So, yeah. And then I knew I wanted to be a coach, and then I found ACE, and I was like, this is perfect. I was just very clear that I could take the skills that I had learned and the experience that I had working in these corporate settings with a lot of women, with a lot of leaders who were doing so much. They were doing so much at work, they were doing so much at home, and I could see that. And they would come to me and say, I'm not doing enough. It's never enough. I'm not good enough. I don't feel like I'm doing a good job anywhere in my life. And it really got to me. Like, I actually felt that way too. And I think that we can live better. So I started, that's sort of what made it like 3 years ago, like now is the time. I've had enough of this. And I want to help others to show up more authentically because I could see the ways in which people were. And again, I worked with a lot of women and a lot of women who were mothers. And I could see the ways in which they were so often, and it was reflected in my own experience, I should be this way. I'm supposed to have this together. This is what I should do or be, with that constant doubt of never enough. And I knew that there was more. Yeah. So brought me to coaching.
What is interesting about your saying is that it was important to you to follow your calling.
Mm,
And
yes.
part of your calling is fulfilling what is important to you in terms of becoming a coach and also in that space, bringing relief to women.
Hmm. Yeah. I remember actually still have the piece of paper where I started mapping out. We can live better. Like, yes, absolutely. It was a calling. Mm.
More about that.
Mm. Yeah, I think in in my own heart, if I really listened to what I would really love to be doing, it would be lifting up others, helping them to see. And what I've learned, in my coach training at ACE, is seeing who we really are and what really matters most to us, what we'd really love for our lives is this amazing superpower, It allows us to show up, for the things that matter to us in a way that's aligned. And that in that, it's like not this, here are all the things I have to do. It's like I get to do all of these things. That's the shift that I feel called to support. And the calling feels like if more people make that shift, then we can really make a shift in the way we all operate. That feels like, I don't know, more goodness, more joy, more love. It's like, how can I be a part of spreading more joy and love?
Mm. So I see that it is important to you to be a contributor to your community,
Please.
and in particular, creating a community of women where we are all able to operate within our strengths and know that we are whole and not missing anything.
Yes. Yes, Temple. Absolutely. Mhm.
So, on that, why don't you share some of the breakthroughs that some of your clients have experienced with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting. A lot of my clients, when they come to me, um, they are they've kind of had enough, like there's something that they see that something is not working for them in their lives, and they want it to be working for them, So often clients come to me for career solely. It's like, this is about my job. This is about my career. But what usually comes up is all of them, right? Because we're whole people. Professional context is one context we operate in, but often what some of the earliest breakthroughs that my clients see are they're high achievers, they lead busy lives, they're often parents, and often have high stress careers that they're working on as well. And they don't have much room for themselves in their lives. So pretty quickly, I would say, the majority of my clients, when they look at what's really important to them, the first breakthrough they have is around creating some time and space for themselves, like seeing that that's what they need and want. And often it's around their physical fitness and their health, something taking care of themselves in a way that they had not been. So the breakthroughs I think that happen are instead of, like, I must continue to deliver and, produce results and do more. Coaching's about action, but what they see is I need a little more space. I need a little bit of quiet. I need that to show up for my family and my work, whereas before it felt like the last thing on the list. So I think one of the biggest breakthroughs is seeing that they they want, that they need, that they deserve a little bit of care for themselves. That would be a big one. Some of the specific things that have come from that are people leaving jobs that aren't fulfilling or, to say the least, perhaps even toxic for their well-being and what they're looking for, getting clarity about what they really do want in their ideal work, because so often people come clear of what they don't want. But then you're sort of calling a little more attention to what you don't want. So getting clear about what they do want, and then suddenly this job comes along that matches it perfectly because they spent the time to get clear on it and they can recognize the opportunity when it comes. So leaving a job that wasn't working for something that aligns exactly with what they want, moving to a place that fits their family and their vision. Those are some of the things. Writing books. Some of my clients are working on novels that have been in their hearts for a very long time. So the breakthroughs, I think what I'm pointing to with some of these examples is that the breakthroughs come not necessarily in what they first came for, which might have been like, I need a change in my career or my job because it's not working for me, or I'm feeling stuck at work and I want to grow. And they see that going for a swim one time leads to on more swims, which leads to, oh my goodness, I want to write songs, which leads to writing a song and then creating an album and then mapping out this vision for what they want in their lives and taking steps toward that. The nature of like doing something that aligns with what is important to you and who you are in one area, and then seeing its impact on so many other areas, you know? So, yeah, when I think about breakthroughs, I think about some of these tiny moments where someone sees something that they weren't seeing for the first time. But then I also just was covering like how that reflects across, you know, all the areas of their life over time where they're sort of like, wow. One client said to me, think I'm experiencing joy. What is this? You know, like, is this joy? That was like one of the ones that was really touching to me, like, ah, yes, now we're on to something. And you know, it aligns with my own breakthroughs. When I took you know, mastering your life for the first time, it was like, think we got an hour-long lunch break. An hour-long lunch break? What is this? And I went for a walk and I ate a salad, and like it felt like 7 years, that hour-long lunch break, you know, like I get to take time for myself today. That for me was like the breakthrough, like, wow, maybe I'd like to take more walks. Wow, maybe I'd like to do some yoga. Wow, maybe I should go to the dentist. I haven't been in years. You know? So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
You know, and listening to you share, you just lit up when you talked about the breakthroughs that your clients experience.
Mm,
And it is so evident that you are really, really committed to being a masterful coach to support these people, and especially your commitment to families and to
mm,
the whole person.
mm.
That really just shone through the more I listened to what you shared.
Thank you so much, Temple.
You're very welcome. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's like I was saying earlier, I get to do this, you know, like this is amazing. Every time I get a response or a text and it's like from a client, like saying like, look, here I am hiking or whatever it is, it's like such a gift.
So, out of all of the clients that you've worked with,
Mm.
what is one story that you would like to share about a client that came to you and really experienced a significant breakthrough that otherwise they would have not been able to really see what is true for them and really live the life that they desire to live?
So like sort of an example of one client that had that. Yeah. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, one that is coming to mind actually is a client who was really had come with an idea, with a not yet fully formed goal, but a dream, a vision that was very clear, and we worked on for, let's say, 6 months, getting to this point where the goal was now clear, why they wanted to do it was clear, the purpose was clear. They were going to go back to school to do this. It was going to be quite costly, but they were exploring, financial options. We did a vision exercise pretty early on in this engagement together, where that was a part of the vision, going back and getting this advanced degree so that they could pivot careers. And then there was just something like they were going through the motions, they were checking off the boxes. Every time we met, they wanted to tell me, here's what I did. And, very, okay, I'm checking off the boxes. And there was just a point where it felt like maybe this felt like a supposed to versus a love to. And we checked in again, like, why don't you redo this vision exercise? Because this client had been doing the work, they were doing the work to look at who they really were and what was really important to them. We worked through a lot of different challenges and scenarios in their life and work. And they were basically, when they redid this vision exercise 6 months into coaching, they saw that that initial thing was not really what they wanted at all. And it was like, wait, this is a failure. I'm changing. I'm not even going to do the thing that I said I was going to do. But for me, it was this beautiful acknowledgement of like breaking through some level of pretense that they weren't yet observing, where once they peeled that back, they saw what was underneath this thing, like this goal I had to apply for and go for this advanced degree. There's something underneath that. And when we got to what was underneath that, the freedom, the flexibility, the authenticity, the life, like this client described, like this moment of riding a bicycle and, just like on a camping trip and just riding this bicycle and feeling free. And like, that's what they wanted more of in their life. And so all of a sudden it was like, this isn't actually the thing that I want. I want, and they became really clear on something else. And it didn't change what their life like felt like, what it's, what they'd be doing on a daily basis, how they'd be interacting with their family. That actually stayed the same, but the vehicle to have that changed. And what the big breakthrough for me was, instead of seeing that giving up on something, it was like, wow, I think they're really allowing themselves to see that even their vision for their life was limited, because they were saying that's not possible to have that. So in the saying that's not possible, there were limiting beliefs there that were holding them back from even naming the thing that they really wanted. So for me, the breakthrough was like crafting a vision that looked more like what they really wanted, leaning into the career they have now as a means to this vision in their heart. Yeah.
I love that story because it shows how masterful you are as a coach in being able to observe your clients and where they really are, and how you were able to see through that pretense to support them in seeing it for themselves, and then for them to be able to say yes to what they really want. Wow. That's a really great story of just how masterful you are as a coach. And then for that person to still be able to do those things that is important to her and still say yes. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So with that, Erin, what is the ideal client that you would like to support? Well, excuse me, you don't want to, you're currently doing it. What is the ideal client that you support?
Yeah, sure. It's probably a combination, you know. This question is always that one that's like, I want to support everyone, you know. But again, ideal client, people that I love to work with already, and I'd love to work with more. I think it probably won't come as a surprise based on the lead up to this conversation, but I really love to support women who are leaders and creators. What I mean by that is they're in a position to have some influence on some people. You know, they work with either home or at work leaders. They could be executives. They could be teachers, but they're leaders. They have a group of people that how they show up impacts other people's lives on a daily basis. And creators, meaning like entrepreneurs, people, founders who see that things aren't working the way they are and they have a way, they have an idea that could be, you know, make a difference. Who are, they have big dreams, they have big goals, they have they've achieved a lot already, so they're probably in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Many of them are moms, and they would like their life to work for them. They would like to move past some of their doubts and worries. They would like to move past what they should be, what they've been told to be, the high achieving good girls of the world, you know. And you know, I want to support them to lean into who they really are so that they can make the contributions, the difference that they're here to make in this life. And leaders and creators have the ability to then seeing that for themselves, empower others. And for me, that's like the ripple effect, you know, this spreads this wave of sort of goodness that it gets me out of bed each day.
So, if you are an influential, visionary woman leader that is committed to family and is ready to say yes to your next step in life and ready to say yes to what is really true about you and living that fulfilling life, how can this person contact you, Erin?
Mm-hmm. So I founded my company, Clear and Inspired. So I have a website, clearandinspired.com. That's probably the best place, but also you can find me on LinkedIn, Erin Dinan. And I also am active there. So those would be the two places to find me and learn a little more about how I might support you.
It has indeed been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. And I'm like, sign me up because I fit the profile.
I love
And
it.
I'm sure that there are many other women out there that fit the profile. And it has indeed been an honor to learn more about you and what is important to you and the contribution that you are here to make. Are there any last words that you would like to share?
I mean, I just want to say thank you to you, Temple, for inviting me to have this conversation, and also the ACE community, which is just this incredibly supportive community that is all in it for that same contribution. I'm so grateful to be a part of it and to then get to share some of this work with others, with the world. Thank you.
Wonderful. And with that, we're going to say thank you so much to checking in to our Coach Spotlight. Please stay tuned because we will have additional coaches from the Academy for Coaching Excellence who will also share their experience and their journey with coaching, as well as the community that they choose to support. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day until we see you again.